According to a report by Forbes, the Trumps apparently stole more than $1 million from a charity for kids with cancer. Now, in their defense, I guess, it was their charity they were robbing, but the money was still intended to go to kids with cancer. And I've always felt if you raise money for kids with cancer, you should give it to them and not spend it on portraits of yourself and stuff like that. But this is interesting. The work that was done by Forbes to uncover this. They reviewed filings from the Eric Trump Foundation and other charities. The Trump organization received payments for its use. This is mostly golf courses, also restaurants. Part of more than $1.2 million that has no documented recipients past the Trump organization. Golf charity experts say the listed expenses defy any reasonable cost justification for a one-day golf tournament. So basically, Eric Trump sets up this charity, to his credit, using Trump golf courses to raise money for kids with cancer. And a year or two goes by where everything seems above board. And yes, they have to spend some money to do the charity, but all charities have expenses, and the rest of the money goes to the kids with cancer. But things go awry. Now, along the way, we're gonna explain why they go awry. But apparently, the Donald J. Trump Foundation used the Eric Trump Foundation to funnel $100,000 additionally in donations into revenue for the Trump organization. And more than $500,000 was redonated to other charities, many of which were connected to Trump family members or interests, including at least 4 groups that subsequently paid to hold golf tournaments at Trump courses. So they hold a golf course charity tournament. They raise a bunch of money, give it to other organizations which hold golf tournaments, which they then pay the Trump organization to hold. So basically, here's the problem. It started off with Eric Trump getting to use these resources for free. After all, it's his family's. Then Donald Trump learned that the course was being used without charge and became upset. One of the marketing directors said, Mr. Trump had a cow, he flipped, he was like, we're donating all this stuff and there's no paper trail, no credit, and he went nuts. He said, I don't care if it's my son or not, everybody gets billed.
That is insane.
So basically they began taking in the donation money that they hadn't previously needed to pay for the course and keeping it. But what was interesting and far worse than just that is, in the first year, it supposedly cost $50,000 for this one-day tournament, which seems like a lot of money to me, but I don't run a charity, fine. Maybe it costs $50,000. The cost begins to balloon, going more than doubling, more than tripling within a couple of years. And now the money is being held by the Trump organization, which means they're not just profiting off of this, they're ratcheting up the cost so that they can profit as much as possible before the remaining money, I should say, actually goes to the charities.
So does this surprise anyone? Because if you hear the details of the story and you're surprised, then you haven't been paying attention. Trump claimed to have raised money for our veterans, and then it was disclosed that that money didn't go toward the veterans he was raising the money for. Okay, red flag number 1. Another red flag that came to light during the elections was the fact that he had this super questionable university operating in New York and other parts of the country that just exploited people who wanted better opportunities for themselves. So he scammed students and had to pay a $25 million settlement as a result of that. He has a history of exploiting disenfranchised people, exploiting powerless people just so he can make a buck. And here's a question. If you are a billionaire, right? And you're so wealthy that you feel the need to share how wealthy you are with the world on a daily basis and how successful you are, then why do you need to run these scam charities and these scam universities just to make a buck out of the neediest people? Why?
Yeah, I'm not sure that this is criminal, but it feels like it is criminal to kind of redeploy, to mislead donors and then to redeploy that money to you and to, I guess, members of your board who are also on your payroll.
And probably in your family.
Yeah, so I mean, and this is our law and order candidate, right? So it feels like we're okay with certain crimes, right? Particularly his supporters. They like that he didn't pay taxes. They like that he's able to kind of skirt traditional norms, and as long as capital is what's to gain.
They consider him smart, right? But they didn't consider Hillary smart when she raised money in ways that they disagreed with, right? So it's this double standard, and Hillary deserved the criticism that she got. He certainly deserves the criticism. Plus, 100 because he's 100 times worse in what he does. I mean, Hillary Clinton didn't go out of her way to exploit kids with cancer to make a buck, but the Trump family certainly did.
Membership helps fund the Young Turks. You know one great thing about that? That means we're not accountable to anyone but you guys. That's why we're strong together, because we built this show around you. Come build it even bigger and better at tytnetwork.com/join.